Off the top at 11 o'clock, fired. Grand Haven City Council members deciding they're done with Public Safety Director Dennis Edwards. 24-Hour News 8's Mark Thompson was in City Hall when that decision came down, and tonight he's live with more on what happened. Mark?
Brian, that vote came down 3-1 tonight to remove Public Safety Director Dennis Edwards from his position. But despite us asking many times in many different ways, the man who made that recommendation to remove him, we're talking about City Manager Pat McGinnis, wouldn't go into specifics as to why. Edwards believes in part it was personal.
So the motion was simply reconsidered.
Before the vote, the Grand Haven City Council removed language from the recommendation that stated the reason for Edwards' dismissal as mismanagement. One of the council members thought that language was too vague. So if he wasn't fired for mismanagement, then why? We put that question to the man who made the recommendation, City Manager Pat McGinnis.
The reason for his removal is that the opinion of management is that the department will be better served in the future without Dennis Edwards as the Director of Public Safety.
Now, former Public Safety Director Dennis Edwards fired back.
Has this all become personal now, do you believe?
Well, I'm sure it is personal.
Edwards says the whole issue centered around enforcement of speed limits within the Grand Haven area. Last year, Edwards told his officers to stop writing tickets until a traffic study was conducted to determine the proper speed limits on 33 area roads. Edwards says the studies are required by law and says the department was sued over a case where a ticket was written on Robinson Road.
I brought this issue to the prosecutor. The prosecutor says, yes, speed studies do have to be done.
McGinnis denies those claims.
The action taken by City Council tonight had nothing to do with speed limits or how they're set in Grand Haven.
Edwards says 2 cases involving 3 public safety officers on his watch played a role as well. In the past 2 years, officers Dana and Todd DeVries were fired and then rehired after a domestic violence case, and Officer Thomas Carey was fired for sexual misconduct. Edwards says McGinnis used the fact that morale was low to gather complaints to put in his file. McGinnis again denies the claims. And City Manager McGinnis says that they will now begin the search for a new Director of Public Safety. He says that Captain Rick Yonker will head the department during the transition, and they hope to have a new Public Safety Director in place by midsummer. We're live in Grand Haven tonight. Mark Thompson, 24-Hour News 8.